Yo, what's going on YouTube? Nasif here from Click, and today I'm going to be doing the, full review of the NextBit Robin in 2017. Now, just disclaimer or note, I didn't keep the stock firmware on the phone. I did flash the Resurrection Remix ROM, I believe. No, yeah, I did initially. I flashed Resurrection Remix, and I found it had too many bugs included in it. It was a great ROM. It works great on the LETV, but for some reason, for me, I just couldn't get it to work properly on the NextBit. So I ended up going with a version of Paranoid Android. I think it's just Paranoid Android on XDA. If I find the right one, I'll drop a link in the description. But it's not hard to find on. Just clean off the mat here from all the dust from all the video recording I haven't been doing. But yeah, I mean, the NextBit Robin, it was a great phone stock, but I just found it was a little bit too slow. Not slow, it's just like the animations and everything were very tuned down. Even with the scaler cranked right the way up to 0.5, I found that it was still kind of slow. And I noticed, there was a ton of development for the NextBit, and I could easily just flash this. And then if I wanted to go back to stock, just put it back to stock. It's not hard to do. So I ended up flashing Paranoid Android, and I'll show you guys here. Let's get the phone unlocked. So the Android version is 7.1.2. We are running version 7.2.1 of Paranoid Android, so that kind of threw me off initially. I was like, wait, 7.2.1? That doesn't make any sense. But sorry guys, again, for the stuffy nose and the sniffles, I'm sick. So it is what it is. But yeah, guys, in terms of gestures, I mean, not gestures, I saw the word gestures there. In terms of like features of software, I'm trying not to get too much glare on here, but in terms of features on the software, you have very minimal, I guess, features and stuff to play with. But it's almost like the OnePlus. There's enough to customize it to your own liking, but not so much that it's overwhelming. As you guys can see here, we have gestures, so you can go jump to camera, double tap to sleep, three-finger screenshot. We have the button customization, so you can switch it. If I'm pretty sure, like, you can add different actions here. So if I want to hold or double tap, you can switch them to different actions and whatnot, and reverse the button so that the left is on the, like, going back is on the right and multitasking is on the left. In terms of the rest of the ROM, there's not really, again, like I said, it's very basic in terms of customization. You can, like right now, the theme I have is tweaked to be all red. So all the accent colors on the ROM are red. So I thought it was pretty cool. In terms of performance and snappiness, like, it's a very quick ROM considering you're using a Snapdragon 808, which is like a way old processor. Like, as you guys can see here, jumping between apps and whatnot is seamless. It's almost like I'm on, like, I don't know, like a Pixel or something. Probably not as quick, but I mean, look at that. That's crazy how quickly the apps are opening up here, and switching between them is awesome. So I mean, that's just a general overview of the ROM itself, and I guess the performance of the phone. Now, in terms of review itself, now I want to talk about the NextBit in terms of the screen, speakers, camera, battery, and all that stuff. But this is all kind of tied into the ROM, so this will be more of a ROM review than anything else. If you guys want to check out my NextBit review, I did have one last year, I believe, where I did purchase the phone and then I'm sending it back because it's too expensive. And I couldn't justify the plastic build, which I still don't like. I still don't like the plastic build, but for, I think it was sub $200, I can live with that. Like a sub $200 phone, you're getting dual front-facing speakers, decent display, unique build. Like, everything on this phone is unique. There's one of my phones buzzing. You definitely won't see another NextBit out. I have never seen another NextBit out in the public. So I think it's kind of cool having a phone that's kind of like your own. So in terms of the screen, guys, 1080p LCD. It's decent. I mean, with the ROM, there's no tweaks to the screen, but you do get that night light mode where it's basically night shift on iOS, where it increases the reds on the display and decreases the blues. So it gets you a little bit more of a warm color temperature on the display. Works decent, but you get a little bit of like, the old Samsung LEDs when you used to scroll really quick, you get a little bit of stutter. So that's kind of that image that you get, but it's whatever. Again, at night, you're using it only at nighttime. But yeah, it is what it is. So the display's decent, 1080p. Wish it was 2K, but again, it's a budget-minded phone. Again, the build I don't like, plastic, not really much to say about that. The speakers, let me see if I can pull up a non-copyright song on here. Now, I'm not sure. I don't think this ROM in particular has any, just give me 1 second, non-copyright songs, non-copyright music, sure. Again, I don't think this ROM has any music or sound tweaks per se. I don't see anything in the apps here. Like, there's only the music app, which doesn't have an equalizer or anything. So I don't think they've modified anything from stock with the speaker. So I'm just going to shuffle play a song here. you guys take a listen to that. So this is another thing I wanted to mention while I accidentally turned the volume down. This is 50%. And I don't know if you guys can even hear that. It's so quiet at 50%. You really got to crank it up. This is about 75. So this is normal listening volume for me. And then 100% is loud. But on certain songs, with, I guess, turn that off. It's too hype. It's too hype. Turn it off. With certain songs, I guess certain frequencies, like I was listening to Not Nice by the Party Next Door, Wanderlust by The Weeknd, the Pharrell remix, there's a little bit of distortion on certain bass frequencies, which is really, really evident. Like, I'm talking like, the phone farts at you when it plays those bass levels, or those frequency levels. Just, I guess the speakers aren't tuned to play it. I don't know what the problem is, but I did have this problem back in last year as well, so I'm assuming it's just a hardware issue with not cheap speakers, but lower end speakers. Like with the iPhone 7, I don't have any distortion problems, but again, that's like 5 times the cost of this one. So again, not a huge deal. Speakers sound good on normal usage. If you're just listening to music, videos, just, you know, whatever daily usage you're doing, it's fine. But if you're like a hardcore audiophile where you're listening to music and all that stuff, not the best. I will say the headphone jack on here is actually surprisingly decent. I don't think it has any kind of 24-bit, 32-bit audio DAC or anything, but it is actually a decent headphone jack considering. I have a couple Bluetooth headphones. I have the Skull Candy Crushers, which are not real headphones. They're just like party tools, but all of them sound great with this phone. Now, I guess that's the audio side done. I did want to show you guys the fingerprint scanner is actually surprisingly quick to get used to. I can't wrap my hand around the other side of the tripod here and use my right hand. So, but it is a little bit. It does take a little bit getting used to having it on the side here. But the thing is, once you get it, you know, once you're used to picking up the phone and just placing your hand, like if I have the phone down and just pick it up, it does fail if you don't have it exactly, like it's failing here. So I'd say you get it about 6 out of 10 times. So not the best fingerprint scanner, but the placement isn't the worst. I'm not sure if I complained about the placement in the last NextBit video, but it's not the ideal one for me. Ideal is down here where this speaker thing is, but it is what it is. In terms of the fingerprint scanner itself, I don't like the color they've chosen for it. Again, such a small thing, but you know, makes such a huge difference when the rest of the phone is completely, you know, stealth, and then you've got this like super colorful, you know, fingerprint scanner. So again, it is what it is, not a huge deal. But this fingerprint scanner is relatively accurate. I've only registered this finger once. Generally, with fingerprint scanners, I put the same finger in twice, so it is failing. I'd say, yeah. So we're gonna get about 6 out of 10 to 7 out of 10. You know, accuracy. Well, there's a fail 3 times in a row there, so not the greatest fingerprint scanner at all, but that's probably because of the angle I'm at right now with the camera. I find day-to-day usage, it's okay. Like, you do have to try a couple times. If you don't get it exactly the same way you scanned your fingerprint in, it just won't unlock the phone, and you'll end up having to put your pattern in or your pin. So again, not a huge deal, especially when you consider the price, but just something to mention. Again, software we talked about. The camera, guys, is decent. Let me take a look and see. I'm not sure if I have any shots. Oh, I guess I do. So I did wash the car. So as you guys can see, washed the car there, took some photos. Decent, actually. You know, the lighting, we were in, it was sunny outside, but we were on the shaded side. So lighting was decent, as you guys can see. It does get a tiny bit pixelated if you zoom in right the way. Like if I go all the way in, the taillight becomes really pixelated. But if you're just looking at it like that and you're just posting it on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter, it's gonna look just fine. Like the pictures look great. Again, this one doesn't have much sunlight because we were sitting in the shade, and this one was at night at a car meet that I've been going to. Flash on, this was just a Porsche Cayenne that was sitting there, and it turned out okay. I mean, the iPhone did actually pull a way better picture, but again, you can't really complain for $200. It's going to be an average camera. You're not going to be competing with Samsung and iPhone and LG. It's just not going to happen. But again, what can you do? So the other thing I want to talk about is battery. Battery on the stock ROM was average. Battery on Resurrection Remix is actually really good. I went away for a week. I turned the phone off completely. All the phones were off. This one I accidentally left on standby. And it was at 100%, as you guys can see. After, I guess, 2 weeks or whatever, I'm at 79, or 2 weeks, 1 week, I'm at 79%. That I find, I don't know, maybe because it's a brand new phone, but I find that's actually better than a lot of the other phones I had. A lot of them were down to, like, you know, The BlackBerry also left on was down to like 60 somewhat percent. So standby time is really good on this phone, and just usage is really good. I got about 4 hours, 4.5 hours screen on time on my moderate to heavy usage. So if you really are battery saver and whatever, battery mindful, you won't have issues with getting a full like 12-hour day out of this phone. Not a problem. Quick charging works, so that's awesome. Battery dies, charge it up within half an hour, you got enough juice to get you through the rest of the day. I don't really think there's much more to talk about. I did cover the rest, I guess, in the other review and the initial impressions of the NextBit Robin and the unboxing. So again, guys, do I recommend the phone? Definitely. For $200, you can't really go wrong. I would say for $200, there's not much more in the Android world that you can pick up that I guess has the most features in terms of, you know, the speakers. The cameras are decent, considering if you go for a $200 phone, you're stuck going with blue or Chinese phone, which cameras are never good. But again, I mean, that's just personal preference. I just love the Robin because it's so unique. I've never seen one before, and I don't think I will ever see another one, mostly because they're not supporting it anymore. But if that's something that you don't care about, and you are kind of tech savvy in terms of ROMing and rooting, you won't have a problem with updates because the developers on XDA are awesome. So shout out to the XDA developers for keeping this phone up to date, and I'm sure this will get Android O no problem going on in the future. So again, it is what it is, guys. $200 smartphone, what can you really... You can't really complain. I mean, the build, yeah, maybe it could have been aluminum and, you know, they charge another 20, 30, 40 bucks to sell it, but again, it's done. It is what it is. As I usually say too much in my videos, and I wonder what the counter's at now. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it, guys. Again, is it recommended? Definitely. For me, I definitely recommend the Robin. Fantastic phone for the pickup, for the price. Definitely pick it up if you're interested. Tons of eBay sellers are selling it sealed brand new, so I got mine sealed brand new and it was awesome. So again, it is what it is, guys. What can you say for $200? I find these days phones are getting so expensive, and this is something I'm going to cover later on in another video, but phones are too damn expensive, and as MKBHD says, cheap phones are getting good, and good phones are getting cheap. Not really. So it is what it is, guys. Again, we'll just continue on. So I think that's pretty much it for this video, guys. A little bit jumbled, as I haven't recorded a video in probably 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks maybe. So yeah, a little bit of a rough start for me. So again, what can you do? So I got a couple other videos to record, and then I got to render it all and upload it, obviously. So I'll talk to you guys in the next video, and I'm out. Peace.